My name's Shiloh. I live in beautiful Sonoma County, most commonly known as wine country. But in addition to incredible vineyards that produce great wine, we also have tall mountains and huge trees and open space and agriculture and livestock and people that really want to live here. It's a fantastic place to live. But on the night of Sunday, October 8th, a wildfire swept through our communities and we became what's known as the Northern California wildfires. This is our story.
We went in the bedroom and tried to fall asleep, but it was so hard. The winds were so extreme. And his pager went off. He's a volunteer firefighter for the Glen Ellen Fire Department. His full-time job is with the City of Oakland Fire Department as a fire captain. So the pager went off for a fire at Beltane Ranch.
2 cows, actually 4 horses, and we were able to move all of them the night of the fire. A neighbor came and helped with the animals while the rest of us were fighting fire.
He gets there and things were bad fast.
Gotten the upstairs out. The people in the cottage insisted on staying, but in the upstairs, I'm banging on doors just to make sure there's nobody in there because it had come, completely around to the house. And I looked out from the upstairs, and that's when I saw both pastures totally on fire and the horses in the top corner. It's like they were burned into, up towards this corner. And the cattle here, and it did burn all the way to the corner. And Alex got in the tractor and drove right through the gate to let him out.
I don't know why, but ironically, I wasn't as afraid. I think just living the lifestyle we live and Chris being such an amazing hero in our lives and knowing what he's been through, I just felt like if there was an emergency and I needed to leave, he was going to let me know.
So that was one big problem is when the fire was coming through, we got the hoses out and we were running around the buildings trying to wet everything down, and then we lost all our water pressure. And the hoses go dead, and then we revert to tractors, shovels.
I know with Chris's line of work that I've always got to be prepared, but in this instance, having such a small amount of time and trying to stay calm, I really couldn't figure out what it was that I needed to do, and I thought the animals. And I went to get Greta, our chicken, and she has this Taj Mahal chicken coop because she's one of the 21 chickens we started with 7 years ago that's still alive, and she was way up top and I couldn't get to her, so I'm in there calling her, and chickens at night, they don't move.
We lost water, we lost power, we were drawn down on fire department resources. We had 60, 70 mile an hour winds. The humidity was really low. Everything was stacked against the valley.
Even at that point, I really wasn't concerned about our things. I was so worried about the animals, and I thought, what am I going to tell the kids? Chris calls me about 40 minutes later, and Alex Benwards looked him in the face and said, Chris, you've got to go. You cannot save our property and have your house burned down. You have to go. And it was about 5 a.m. when I got my first phone call from Chris at that point, and he said, well, the animals are fine. Well, the sheep and the donkey are fine. I thought, oh, Greta died. Oh my God, I should have opened the door. And he said, I'm really sorry, but I got here and the chicken coop was on fire. There was nothing I could do. I opened the doors. And as he's talking to me, I hear this noise, and I thought, oh my God, I'm like hearing the chicken. I'm so sad. And he goes, holy crap. He turns around, he goes, you're never going to guess who just walked up. I said, who? He goes, Greta. Greta's here.
I have all my stuff on my computer, basically. So while we were evacuated, I was able to start contacting the neighborhood, and it was so perfect because I had emails out, and I was corralling our neighborhood and keeping track of them, and we were able to account for each other. Everybody could check in, and through that mechanism, everyone knew basically what was going on.
This was the house where my husband's office was, so all our records, all our tax records, everything, all our affairs for the last 40 years.
The fire burnt approximately 53,000 acres, and in this area we lost over 300 homes. They describe it as a fire hurricane because hurricane force winds. We had in this area up to 90 mile an hour winds. So I think everything over 70 miles an hour is hurricane force. And that night we saw up to 90 mile an hour gusts.
Growth, and then you have the Venturi effect of faster air coming through these creeks, and you can see what happened. It just went down that.
Well, we came in and assessed the property, and we saw that there was animals on this property. This one was a little particular. It wasn't, I shouldn't say the property we were after, it was the animals that were here. The owner was very passionate about her animals. So what we did to make her happy or make her a little more at ease was that we found spray paint, which we didn't have on our unit, unfortunately, that she had some here, and we painted her phone number, her cell number on the horses, and she has about 5 or 6 goat and some other animals on the property here. So we took the time to paint half of one side of the phone number on one side on the goats and half on the other side, so at least someone could identify the animals.
Homeowners associations are easy or targets to offer trainings to, because they already have that lead person trained with how to use a fire extinguisher, how to shut off gas meters at your house, outside propane tanks, where you can get water from. Most houses have hot water heaters. There's 50 to 40 gallons of water that's already stored for you, so you don't have to have a bunch of bottled waters in your garage. You can, before the disaster, maybe fill that bathtub up with water.
I am a person who understands risk management from a first responder, firefighter point of view. I am trained. I have behind the fire line training. I'm on an evacuation team that is trained to work with firefighters using fire service communication tools, following incident command, and basically working to the same standards as other first responders.
Emergency responders can only do so much in a huge disaster like what we saw here, and people have to be self-sufficient in those first couple days and try to do their best being prepared on their own. We can't be at 10,000 houses at once, and we only have so many fire engines on the road and so many police cars out there and so many EMS personnel to get people out. And if you hear an evacuation warning, we need you to get out, because that's going to take our focus from dealing with the disaster to dealing with trying to save you because you didn't evacuate in time.
In 2016, I was very honored to receive the FEMA Individual and Community Preparedness Award. In 2017, I am grateful that our training helped us in an emergency, and I hope that it helped some of our neighbors and people in other places to save themselves and their animals.
Emergencies, disasters, floods, wildfires, earthquakes, they all happen. Are you ready? Are you prepared? What's in your go bag? Are you ready for whatever?
Thank you.